Be willing to listen to every godly discourse, and do not let any wise proverbs escape you. If you see a man of understanding, go to him early, and let your feet wear out his doorstep. Think about the statutes of the Most High, and constantly meditate on his commandments. He will strengthen your mind, and the wisdom you desire will be given you. First of all, willpower. It's just a word that stands out to me now. Whereas before it was just a word, and they usually use it, people of this world typically use willpower in reference to diet and exercise. But I don't believe that it's exclusively that's what it's lines up with. And that, I mean, the people of this world are so much in one way of thinking that you really only hear that word used one way. But the Most High's brought it to my attention that willpower is so much more than not eating this and getting up to run, or it's basically the power to say no, the power to reject something, and the power to stand your ground, I guess. And that's important. And I guess, I've been blessed with that ability from the Most High. I mean, there's no other place it could have come from. I mean, in all my ways, that even when I was in darkness, as far as what the law is, the commandments and the precepts, I still was very I still had a lot of willpower. The only thing I was missing was the rules, or the law. That's the only thing I was missing. And like, some things just came with life and learning, and just not rejecting things that made sense to me, like not eating pork. That didn't really necessarily come from it didn't necessarily come from studying the Bible per se. It just came from life, just hearing it so many times, looking at the logic of it. I guess the Ruach basically led me to the truth of the matter, and I just didn't want to eat it anymore. And there's nothing anybody could do to make me want to eat it again. And as soon as I knew that rule, as soon as I knew it, I had the strength to stand on it. So that's what I want to say about willpower, is that maybe faith is like Lauryn Hill said, it's like a muscle. I don't know if she's the one that originated that comparison, but it's very true that it's like a muscle, and your willpower gets stronger. I think the more you stay in the way, your willpower gets stronger. Your ability to say no is stronger, because you know what you're saying no to, why you're saying no, and you know how to stand your ground. The other word is discipline, and very bad at knowing where I found scriptures, but I read the book. Not every day, not even close to every day, but it's my reference point. It's my foundation for which I am willing to learn other things from. Like, it's just my starting point. So it's not like I read it every day to be religious. I just read it when I want to read it for guidance, I guess, so for some direction. But the word discipline, it kind of lines up with the word willpower, because I was looking up the definition. I have like a fascination with words, because the English language is so strange, like it's just so strange. I don't know if there's even another language like this. It it has no there's certain things that can't be um, put into words. They don't even have words for certain things in English. And then they have words for certain things in English that have a myriad of definitions, but you only hear it used one way for the most part. Or there's like a million ways to say one thing. I mean, it's just like, it's very weird. It's very, very weird. But anyway, the word discipline, it says the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. And in the Bible, it says that the saints of the Most High are referred to as his disciplined ones, which would mean that one thing that the saints of the Most High have is willpower. And that lines up with the same word, discipline. It's discipline, willpower, and the other word that I was thinking about is disciple. And disciple is like a derivative of the word discipline. In order to be a disciple, you have to have discipline, right? And another way of having discipline is to have willpower, which is basically the right or the strength to say no, right? It would mean that you have the power to say no. So, anyway, that's just something to chew on. There's this movie that's out. It's very old now, but it was with Jim Carrey, and it was called Yes Man. And I watched it, and I was just like, wow, it's like, well, let me tell you what it's about, first of all. He's supposed to, like, he goes to some seminar, some new age seminar, and the philosophy of this seminar is that you can't reject anything, you have to say yes to everything. So he goes through his life after this seminar having to say yes to everything that's put before him, and just knowing that this system basically it does whatever it can to steer you in the wrong direction. So if there's a movie called Yes Man and it shows how his life gets so much better from saying yes to everything, then the opposite is true, that you should probably be saying no to more things than you're saying yes to, in order to, first of all, be disciplined, second of all, have willpower, and third of all, to be a disciple. I mean, But anyway, that movie, it's really like, it really explains in a backhanded way, if you're looking at it with a clear pair of eyes, that it's very important to say no. A lot. I'd venture to say that the word no, or I can't, or I won't, or I'm not going to, should be one of the first things that rolls off of your tongue. And actually, you're safer saying no, thinking about it, and then if you want to say yes later, that's wiser than it is to just say yes. And where else is I going with this? I just had a thought, didn't say it, and then it just melted away. What was I saying last? That it's wiser to say no, think about it, and then say yes if you want to. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to say. People that talk fast. You don't have to go their pace. People that talk fast are trying to con you most of the time. They're trying to get you to say yes quickly most of the time. So if you can control your pace, again, if you have discipline to control your pace and to set the pace of a conversation, they're trying to set it with a fast speed, but if you control yourself and don't try to keep up with their speed, they have to slow down. And fast talkers are trying to get you to say yes to something, but you need to have willpower to say no. And the only way to get that willpower is to, first of all, practice it. Second of all, slow down. Slow them down. Tell them you're talking too fast. Or explain that again slower. Or just basically be the metronome for the conversation and make them slow down that way, like answering them slowly, because they can't keep up that speed with a person that's paced, or they're gonna sound like really strange and moronic. But that's one thing I want to say is fast talkers, don't let people fast talk you. They're always up to something. I mean, we're all going out after work and we're gonna have drinks. You want to go? The old me would have been like, yeah. Just because they talk so fast. But you don't have to say yes. You can go, let me think about that. And then you get back to them and say, no. Or you can go, no, right off the bat. I mean, they set it up to where if you say no, that it's like, but I mean, that's their fault. I mean, all you have to do is say no. So anyway, coming back around to willpower. Willpower is, in short, the ability to say no. And that comes from the Most High. It comes from the Most High. Not like if somebody needs your help, you say no. I mean, there's things that you can say yes to. Like, can I have $1? Yeah, you can have $1. Can you give me a ride to the store? Sure, I can give you a ride to the store. Can you help me by doing this project? Sure, I can help you by doing this project. There's things you can say yes to, but you need perspective. You need to know what ground you're standing on, and you need to have discipline. You need to know what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, and you can move from there without compromising your essence.
Freedom, 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 freedom.